was about showing how mapping problems are quite well, diverse or have a lot of discussions. In the Netherlands you have European subsidies for agriculture, and sometimes the amount of area is very important to know for every farmer, and sometimes the farmer says, no, that's much too small, my land is larger. So what we we set out people here measuring the area of a farmer, of course that's fictive, on the fortress, and they do that with GPS, and then they go to the touch table and they see what the reality is of their area of farming ground. And of course we made it in such a way that in the map the area of their farm was smaller than with the GPS, and they lost a lot of money. European subsidies, of course they were not happy. Here you see the mismatch of parcels. But then you get the discussion when playing this game is what's exactly the edge of a farming area. When does the water stop and when does the farming area begin? So for us that's the nice thing to start the discussion. Another game has to do with social network. We have this Twitter which is geo-tagged nowadays. And we have 10 questions on the fortress on different locations. And on every location you can Twitter your answer geotag. And the fun thing of this is that then with the application layer, also for the iPhone, you just look through your camera and you see this augmented reality on top. So the white lines are the augmented reality. And the GeoNovo logo is someone who Twittered from GeoNovo the answer. And you can just 360-degree look around the island and find all the answers to the questions. And especially kids like this very much because they Twitter anyway, and now they're doing it with something sensible. That's what they say. Then the last case I would like to show, this is a lecture session about vulnerability, is about crisis management. This is one which is still under construction, this game. And it's not only for students, it's also for the people working with crisis, so rescuers or the majors or fire brigade, anyone dealing with it. And what we do is have two groups. One is sitting in the bunker, what I just showed this picture of, people sitting in this bunker, and they have a crisis team with a touch table with all kinds of information. So they're sitting around or walking around this touch table and they have all kinds of digital information about the cadastral information or about the chemistry disaster which is going on. I mean, you can change this disasters, of course. Then another team is outside, busy rescuing or finding the source of crisis. And what we're going to do is making a labyrinth on the fortress, but not a normal labyrinth, but an intelligent labyrinth, because in this labyrinth it should be different. The places where you go shouldn't look all the same, so that if you have a recognition, you are more easily able to find your way through. But of course you need your sensors to find the source of the disaster. So you walk around and you use your smell in order to find the gas leak or anything chemistry. And you use your glasses with virtual reality to find also the source. And you have to communicate, because when you find something, you have to communicate this to the crisis team, working with the digital maps and helping you to find the next clue. So communication, map reading, and analysis of the digital layers is all coming along in this game. And then you have some barriers which you have to cope with, and finally you find the source. Well, that's what we hope for. And the funny thing is, scientifically it's said that a regular game player, a die-hard game player, is more easy to find its way through all this kind of information in crisis situations than the average major. Well, that's in the Netherlands, I don't know what's in the USA. But gaming can be a very strong way of consuming a lot of information at that one time and finding your way through. And of course, we're looking to the future, and I'm very excited about the ArcGIS application for the iPad. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to focus on. And I'm very glad you can upload maps in this application and add a lot of information, because that's very nice for these games which we make for every situation, a new one. But then I've talked enough, and Einstein says, shut your mouth and start listening. So, are there any questions?